substring of a variable a given the range 1 to 4, we can use notation a is square bracket 1 colon 4, which will return ELL, the substring between integers 1 to 4, except the character at index 4. Furthermore, there exists a useful operator, namely membership operator. We can use this operator to check whether a certain substring or a character is included in a given string. If we check whether letter H is in variable A, it will return true. The not in operator is the same as the previous case, except it will return true if a character does not exist in a given string. If we check whether letter M is not in variable A, it will return true. We have reached the end of this lesson. In next lesson, you will get to know about libraries in Python. Happy learning again.
Hello, welcome to this lesson on Python libraries. This is part of the course Python for Beginners. My name is Buddhika Karnaratna and I am from the University of Moratuwa. In this lesson, we will introduce Python libraries in general and look at some commonly used libraries. This is the standard color coding used in the presentation. This is consistent with all the lessons in this series. So what is a library? I believe all of you have been to a library in your school, in your hometown, or even at your home. A library is usually a collection of books, or is a room where many books are stored so that we can read them when we want. In the world of programming, we use the term library to mean a similar thing. A library, in the context of programming, is a collection of pre-compiled codes that can be used in the programs that we write. These codes help you to get some specific and well-defined subtasks done. You can use them whenever you want, repeatedly. They make your programs much less complicated and save your time on repeating the same thing over and over. Now let's look at what a Python library means. A Python library is a collection of what we identify as modules. In simple terms, a Python module is a set of lines of code written for a specific purpose. You can get some specific task done using a given module. You can use this module repeatedly in Python programs without having to rewrite the same code at each usage. This makes your life easier as a programmer. The libraries are made publicly available for anyone to use. So if someone is running into a problem or identifies an error within the library, that person can report about it. In that way, the problem can easily be fixed in the original library so that everyone using it can get the correct and expected output. Essentially, the libraries and modules are shared resources. Now let's look at a simple example. Say we need to find the square root of a number. Very simple thing. So how would you do this in Python? What we can do is we can use the exponentiation operator, which is given by the double asterisk symbol, and raise the given number to the power of 1 over 2, or in other words, half. Then we'll give you the square root of the number. What you can see on the left-hand side is that method. On the other hand, you can use the built-in math module in Python to do the same thing. That is what you see on the right side. In that case, first, you have to import the module math using the reserved word import. Then you can call the function sqrt, which stands for square root, which is part of the math module. That way, you don't actually have to write the logic of calculating the square root of a number. You are just calling a function. It is just a matter of importing the module and calling the corresponding function. This is just a very simple example. The math module itself has many other such functions to make calculations much easier. Then there are many other such useful libraries and modules available in the Python ecosystem. You can explore them as we progress in this program. In the previous section, we imported the whole math module, which has many functions. But we wanted just one function. So in this case, we can selectively import the functions that we need. Only import the required function. Hence, by using the reserved words form and import, we can import only the function sqrt from the math module. That is what you see in this code snippet. Now we move on to introduce Python standard library. Python's standard library has built-in modules that provide access to basic system functionality like inputs and outputs, network access, and so on. The standard library consists of more than 200 core modules, which provide convenient access to main functionalities of the Python language and the environment. All the capabilities that are supported by the standard library contributes towards making Python what we call a high-level language. To use a high-level language, we do not need to have in-depth details of what's happening in each action. A high-level language provides a convenient and easy-to-use interface for the programmer to get the required task done. The math library we saw in the previous example is from the Python standard library. Now we move on to look at some other Python libraries. There is a wide variety of libraries available for Python. They make Python such a powerful tool so as to become the most commonly used programming language in the world today. And that is not an exaggeration. Python libraries provide us with a vibrant set of capabilities, developing nice graphical user interfaces for the applications, working with numbers, working with data, develop prediction models are only a few of such capabilities, and there are many more. Here we briefly introduce a couple of commonly used Python libraries for graphical user interface development. PyQt5 and tkinter are two popular such libraries. PyQt5 is actually a visual framework that allows drag and drop of GUI components like buttons, labels, text boxes, and etc. As such, it provides a convenient framework for GUI or graphical user interface development. tkinter is also popular for developing desktop applications. NumPy is a vastly popular Python library for numerical computations. It consists of a wide collection of built-in mathematical functions to make the complex calculations more efficient. NumPy can deal with large and multidimensional datasets. And moving on, SciPy is a well-known Python library for scientific computations. It actually uses NumPy for numerical calculations, and on top of